Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous, fabulous. Take a listen to this. Oh, first of all, I got to say, coming up, we're going to be talking with Dave White. He's with Home Depot. We're going to be talking about fire prevention. Did you know that October is National Fire Prevention Month?
I did not know that.
Now you know. So we're going to have some tips, I hope, on how to avoid having a home fire. That would be good. So I guess it's kind of up to him. We'll be chatting with him coming up later in the program. The new Oxford Dictionary of English reveals that English language has 30 terms for insane people, but only a half a dozen terms for people who are not crazy. So if you're crazy, there's 30 different ways to describe you, but if you're not crazy, there's only about 6 ways to describe you as sane. And did you know that hair will fall out faster on a person that has been on a crash diet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I remember you and I were doing a diet, and there were like clumps of hair in the shower. I'm like, you okay? Is everything all right? Coming up, we've got some special things we're celebrating today. We'll tell you about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday, October the 7th, so it's 10/7. Today is Lee's National Denim Days. When you were a young girl, did you wear a pair of Lee jeans as a child?
I think I had some Lees. I had mostly Guess, and I remember Gitano, and
Yeah, I remember those.
And,
Yeah, when I was a kid, I remember our neighbor, because I don't think we ever really had brands, but I remember the neighbors, the girls had Lee jeans, and it was kind of a big deal back then. National Diversity Day today. World Smile Day today. So flash a smile over here. Ding! It's National Personal Safety Day today. And it is You Matter to Me Day. But you know what, Heidi? You matter to me every day.
aw.
Yeah, you do. Without you, this would be just the John Show. I mean, who would want to listen to that? Here, instead of the John and Heidi, it'd be just John. Yeah, probably not the same. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Please don't let this happen to me. A 38-year-old Washington state man had been complaining of dizziness and a loss of balance and shooting pains in his head. And he finally said, you know what, I just need to go to the doctor. I don't know what's going on. So they went in and they did a CAT scan, and that is when doctors discovered a 2-inch snail living inside of his
that's
head.
horrible.
Yeah, 2-inch snail. Apparently, Sam Mercchio had taken a nap when he was camping, and the snail crawled into his ear.
Yeah, this is why I don't go camping.
And it grew to a point where he couldn't get the snail out. The snail couldn't get out on its own.
Oh, my God.
Mercchio was taken quickly to a nearby hospital to have said snail removed. So that would really not be good. Now, we've talked about, there was somebody that had, what was it, like a caterpillar or something that got in their ear. We talked about somebody that shot a nail into their head accidentally and then, went to the hospital and were like, hey, I got a nail stuck in here. Can you pull that out? There's all kinds of things that people have in their heads when they go to the hospital. Can you imagine working in that environment where people come in, you're like, so what do you have stuck in your head?
I have a really gross story, though, that I probably should not share on the radio because it's really nasty.
What is it
The other
about?
night I had a dream.
Oh, no.
That I went into the bathroom and
Should the kids cover their
and I had
ears?
to go number 2. And I get up from going to the bathroom and I look, and the whole toilet was filled with like these white leeches with brown spots.
What are you talking about?
So I don't know. It just freaked me out. I woke up. I remember thinking, "Oh my gosh,
That was your dream?
that was my dream."
Would you quit dreaming
If there's
things
any
like-
dream analysts out there, I would sure love to know what that means.
Oh, I have it right here. That means you are crazy. And there's 30 words to describe you, according to this dictionary that I was just talking about. All right. Anyway, don't let that happen to me either, but certainly don't let this happen to me. And you know it's true because you heard it in great detail on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A State College, Pennsylvania man faces additional charges after showing up for court. He had a hearing on charges of public drunkenness and disorderly conduct. He showed up with a gun. Yeah. Officers found a weapon when the 22-year-old man arrived for a hearing. The man was arraigned on new charges, including possession of a firearm in a court facility. They don't take that too lightly, Heidi.
No.
They're not fans of that. He was taken to jail in lieu of a $10,000 cash bail. So, yeah, if you're going to court, don't bring a gun. I mean, what did he think he was going to do there? That didn't make any sense, did it? So you might want to leave that at home or in the car or anywhere, but in your pocket when you're going in for court. So
You shouldn't take a gun anywhere where tempers are bound to flare.
exactly. So he was already going there for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct. So it kind of sounds like maybe he just doesn't make good choices. Make good choices. Kids, this is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A beer mat that calls for a refill when the pint is almost empty has been invented by scientists in Germany. Maybe this shouldn't be
Is
the
that
moment
really
of duh.
necessary? I mean, you can tell when a
I
keg
think
is
so.
going empty.
The electronic beer mat was created by computer scientist Andreas Boots of the University of Munich and Michael Schmitz of Saarland University. The mat uses pressure and acceleration sensors that react to the weight of the glass and the position and the movement of the coasters. Microsensors then pass on this info through
I
a
see.
radio link to the bar, where the signal is picked up and decoded by a waiting computer. And then they're notified to, hey, go to table 2 because he's almost
for the
out
cup.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
You thought it was for the person drinking it? Like, oh no, my beer's almost gone.
No, I thought it was for the keg to go underneath
Oh.
the keg behind the bar so that the bartenders knew it's time to replace
See,
it.
now that's a good idea. You should have been involved in
I
inventing
said that was a
this.
stupid idea.
I think it's a good idea. What will we call this?
So I wonder then if the beer mat is doing all the work if you still have to tip the waitress.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you do.
Because isn't the job of the waitress to watch your glasses and see when you need a drink and come back and refresh them for you
It's
without
the second
being
time
told?
this week you're trying to stir things up with the wait staff.
I love to tip when it's deserved. I absolutely love it. I don't like to be forced to.
There you go. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day, and I'm changing the subject now. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. This may be a good idea for Mother's Day right here.
Okay.
The first laundry sorting and folding robot goes on sale in Japan next year. They're calling it Laundroid. Do you think that's a good idea?
No, and I don't think that I think it would be pretty impossible for the robot to know which clothes belong to who.
Maybe there's like a little sensor you stick on each one. I don't know. All I know is we don't mind doing the laundry at our house. It's the sorting and folding that we don't
No,
do so much.
it's not the sorting and folding. I don't mind that. It's nobody puts it away. I get it all folded. It's in the baskets, and then I take it in the bedroom, and I always think, well, Taylor can put her clothes away, and John could always put his clothes
I
away.
could?
And it never happens, and I end up putting away a bunch of wrinkly clothes because nobody ever touches their own clothes.
If you just put it where I lay down on the bed to go to sleep. If it's there, I'll have to do something with it.
Yeah, you'll throw it on the floor. I've tried that.
I think that's probably
I
what I
have
would
tried
do.
that.
Hey, Edie Sims has a rap sheet at age 102.
Oh.
Edie was recently arrested at her retirement home. Again, she's 102. However, her crime is still unclear. But one of the items on the St. Louis woman's bucket list was to be arrested. She's 102.
Oh,
The
so
St.
she just
Louis-
wanted to be arrested.
The St. Louis Metro Police were happy to oblige, so a group of officers put a cheerful Sims in handcuffs on September 30th, escorted her to the senior center in back of a squad car. After her first ride as an outlaw, Sims decided to swear off a life of crime for the rest of her life. Again, she's 102. Instead, she joined the rest of the seniors at the center there for a game of bingo. I got a link to this story. I just thought that was one of the cutest things
done
ever.
Something to get arrested. I mean, if you're going to do it.
Steal a Snickers or something.
Midge's applesauce or something.
No, I think she just seems like a sweetheart of a lady. According to the FBI, gun sales are up for the 17th consecutive month. So far,
I think that's
they're
fantastic.
Up 27% over last year.
Yeah, well, you start threatening people, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. In Davis, Virginia, a 13-year-old middle school student has been arrested for allegedly reaching out to a clown on social media to kill her teacher.
Whoa!
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Whoa!
The female student attended Davis Middle School, where security was beefed up in the wake of this threat. The girl is alleged to have contacted a social media user whose avatar is a clown with hopes that the person would kill her teacher. Authorities were reportedly notified about the threat on Sunday. Immediately, they contacted the teacher in question. The girl has been charged with threatening to kill through electronic message, so that is illegal.
How?
Now, here's the thing. You were just asking me about this, about if I've been, seeing this, what's going on with clowns around the country.
Wait a second, though. If it's illegal to threaten to kill through accounts, shouldn't Hillary Clinton be in jail? Because didn't she just threaten to drone Julian Assange?
She didn't do that through an electronic. She said that in a meeting. So it wasn't.
But it was recorded and it was.
No, that's a different thing completely.
Oh, yeah. So that makes it okay.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying it's different than this. Let's get back on subject here. We remember we're not talking politics here anymore. Every time we do, we have all kinds of issues. So stay on point. So apparently there's some issue with...
If it's okay for some people to threaten to kill, but
done?
not for other people to threaten to kill, that's where the breakdown of society begins. Just saying.
So apparently there's something where people are dressing up like clowns and breaking all kinds of laws and hurting people and doing bad things. Don't do that. I think that is such an awful idea. There are already people who are afraid of clowns. I mean, imagine what's going to happen. I got a feeling that we're going to probably have a thing where it'll be illegal to dress as a clown. And if you think about what the whole purpose of clowns are, I know people who, as a profession, are clowns. It's to make kids happy. There's a group through the Shriners that have, it's the whole clown, I'm trying to think what it's called, clown cavalry? That's not what it is. But anyway, such a wonderful, awesome, amazing, happy, jolly thing, and it's been turned into something, perverted and bad.
Okay, but you know what? Everybody's always been afraid of clowns, so you've always been wary and you've always been on guard around clowns anyway. Poor Julian Assange. He's got to worry about drones. Anytime the poor guy hears a fly, he's going to be freaking out and running for cover. How's he supposed to protect himself against that?
Stop. We'll be back without Heidi. I've got a guest. You're not invited. That's on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. October is National Fire Prevention Month. And, you don't want to fire any month, but this is the month where we get all kinds of great statistics like this one. On average, every 24 seconds, firefighters respond to a fire somewhere in the nation. We're going to be chatting with Dave White today from Home Depot to get some simple steps that we can all take to protect our home. Dave, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Having a fire in your home is not good. I've had that happen before, and thank goodness I had a fire extinguisher in my home, and I was able to put it out before it became a huge problem. But this is something that, if you've been down that road, if you ever had a fire in your home, this is not good. This is a bad, bad thing, isn't it?
It certainly is, and you really need to be prepared. And there's a couple things to think about. I like to say prevent, detect, extinguish, and evacuate. So fire prevention, obviously, is where it starts. Make sure that you take care of any open flames. It's really common sense, right?
Yeah.
Any heat sources, especially this time of year when people start to bring out their heaters and use their fireplaces. And then, of course, detection is huge, right? You want to make sure that you have working smoke detectors throughout the home. it's recommended to have them in sleeping areas and common areas of the home, kitchens and garages, but at the very least, have one on each floor. And of course, you make sure to check them twice a year. And people like to say that when you change your clocks, go ahead and check those smoke detectors. If you have to replace the batteries in them, which I would every 6 months, I would use a long life battery. We have a Duracell Quantum battery that lasts long and it stores for a long time, like 10 years. So you can buy them in bulk and store them for a long time. And then you can actually test the batteries to see how much life they have left.
Very, very nice.
And then, of course, if your smoke detectors are more than 10 years old, it's really time to replace them.
The technology there's changed. It's gotten so much better. I know every once in a while we'll have our smoke detectors like chirp just for no reason. Does that mean my batteries are dying? Is that what that is?
Yeah, typically they're going to notify you that your batteries are low. Even if you have the smoke detectors that are actually hardwired into your home, they still have a battery backup. So if they chirp, that means that you should check those batteries. And it also could mean that the unit itself is defective. So again, if it's older than 10 years, it's time to go ahead and replace it.
So when people are making their plans, again, it is October. It's a special month here. This is National Fire Prevention Month. So when people are kind of putting their fire prevention plan together, what areas of the home should they focus on for fire safety? I know we just talked about smoke detectors. Are there other areas as well that are kind of hot spots for fires?
Yeah, so the kitchen is really the most prone area for fires. Obviously, you have stoves and cooking appliances and there's grease, and so definitely need to have a smoke detector there. And Kidde actually has this, and you talked a little bit about technology. Kidde has a new combination smoke and carbon monoxide detector.
Oh, nice.
It's got a lot of really cool features. First of all, it's got a sealed 10-year battery in it, so you don't ever have to worry about changing out the battery. It actually is designed to help prevent nuisance alarms. Where like if you burn the toast and the alarm goes off, unfortunately, a lot of people actually remove the smoke detector. And this particular unit is designed to not only avoid those, but if you do have one, you can actually temporarily silence the alarm. It also has voice prompts, which means instead of just a beep, it's going to have a voice that notifies you whether it's a smoke or a carbon monoxide alert. And then, of course, there's in the other areas of the home, of course, smart technology is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Nest brings us a Nest Protect smoke detector, and this is actually a smart detector. So it connects to your smartphone. It gives you alerts even when you're not at home. You can control it and communicate with it. If you combine several of these throughout the house, it'll actually notify you. It's got the voice prompts, and it also covers carbon monoxide. It'll notify you where in the house the alarm is so that you'll know what areas to avoid if you're trying to get out. It even has an LED light that lights when you pass under it to help you get out in case of an emergency.
That's a great idea. Again, visiting right now with Dave White. He is with Home Depot, and the reason we're talking to Dave right now is we're talking about fire prevention because October is National Fire Prevention Month. Now, if you've ever had a fire in your home, you've probably had a chance to use a fire. Hopefully, you've had one, a fire extinguisher. But here's the thing that's crazy, Dave. Unless you need a fire extinguisher for something, you've probably never used one. Because you don't just get one of those and spray it in the backyard. So what is the proper use for a fire extinguisher? And I see there's a thing called a pass technique. What is that?
Exactly. It's just an easy way to help you remember how to use the fire extinguisher. So P is for pull. You pull the pin that sort of unlocks the fire extinguisher. And then A is for aim. You would aim the extinguisher at the base of the fire. Remember that. And then squeeze, which is you're going to squeeze the trigger to activate it, and then sweep. You sweep it back and forth at the base of the fire, and that's sort of the how-tos of putting out a fire. Of course, if the fire gets out of control, certainly it could be time to get out of the house and call 911. So you have to use common sense there as well.
Again, Dave White with Home Depot. Dave, thank you so much for chatting with us today about fire safety. This is a thing that's near and dear to me. Like I said, I had a chance to use a fire extinguisher in my home. It was a scary, scary, scary situation, but you know what would have been even more scary? Not having a fire extinguisher.
Exactly, and of course, you have to remember that once you've used those, you should get rid of them. They're disposable, so don't try to reuse it. And of course, if you need any more information, either come see us in the store or go to homedepot.com/fire safety.
Very nice. Yeah, when mine was done, I sprayed every last bit of it out. So I was like, I want to make sure this thing is done. So there was no reusing it. Well, Dave, thank you again, sir. You have a great day.
Thanks very much.
Again, October, National Fire Safety Month. Folks, it matters to me. It matters to you as well because it's your family we're talking about. So make sure you're safe out there. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shake.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
When you're lacking chains and you feel no pain, Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/duelrocks.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The invention that made Alfred Nobel, benefactor of the Nobel Prizes, so wealthy was what? Do you know? The Nobel Prize?
He built fences.
No. He invented dynamite.
Oh,
Yeah, he invented dynamite.
to blow up his fences.
No fences
I'm
involved.
pretty sure. You might want to look that up.
I'm pretty sure you're
Better
right.
fact check that one.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
43% of the cost of every bottle of beer sold in America goes to state and federal taxes. 43%.
I know.
Holy cow. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
Nobody can say I don't pay my fair share of taxes.
Yeah, Heidi. She's like, I pay so many taxes. I should get to vote twice. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The waterbed was invented in what year? What year do you think the waterbed was invented? I guarantee you'll get it wrong.
I'm going to say
Think of it quicker because we're running out of time.
16.
No. 1832. Scottish surgeon Neil Arnott was the one that invented it as a way to improve his patients' comfort. I thought you'd guess like the 1970s.
Well, I
because
know
that's when they were
popular in the
really
70s,
popular.
But I thought,
Yeah,
well,
1832 is when those little buggers came out. There you go. A couple of fun facts for you on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today's program brought to you by clowns. Now, we're going to talk about fear of different things. I don't see fear of clowns on here, though. But a Canadian doctor has a unique excuse as to why she does not pay her taxes. Mm-hmm. She says that she has a phobia that prevents her from being able to fill out tax forms.
Sure she does.
Diane
and that's why you
DeVue.
hire an accountant.
She has a phobia that has gotten her into trouble with the law. She's compiled 10 convictions for failing to fill out her tax returns. She's been sentenced to 90 days of house arrest. Her lawyer, Greg Barrow, says doesn't make any sense. She just couldn't bring herself to file. Judge Robert Prince ordered the 53-year-old woman to undergo a mental health examination after a pre-trial psychiatric report showed that she might suffer from the phobia. More odd phobias, because there is a phobia, filling out tax forms, and it doesn't say what it's called here, but how about puppophobia? You know what that is?
Fear of puppies?
No, puppets. Fear of
Oh,
puppets.
I can see that. Puppets are
How about
creepy.
lachanophobia? It's
I
the
have no idea.
fear of vegetables.
Yeah.
Rhytipophobia is the fear of getting wrinkles. Mm-hmm. So that's not good. This is one I don't understand. Automatonophobia. Automatonophobia is
Okay.
the fear of a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, I don't like those things either.
But you're not afraid of them,
I'm not
are you?
afraid of them,
It's
but
like,
I
they're kind of freaky.
Would never
And,
go to a show.
Nepophobia is the fear of anything new. And peladophobia is the fear of bald people. I don't know what the fear of drones is. That's not on the list. Or
Ask Julian Assange.
Just stop. I shouldn't have even brought that up. And the fear of clowns is not on here either. But again, all the stuff that's going on where people are dressing as clowns and doing bad things, it's just terrible. If you know someone that's doing that and they think it's funny, don't do it. Here's what's going to happen.
You're going to end up getting shot.
Exactly.
And it'll be nobody's fault but your own.
We just talked about today. We just mentioned gun sales are higher than they've ever been. There's more people packing today than ever. So you go out and you
do
goof
something
around in a
stupid to
clown
somebody.
outfit.
Yeah,
even if
gonna
you're
get
just
shot.
kidding around, if they put you down, they'll probably win in court.
Yeah, because you were harassing them
And
making
because
them
there are
fear for
people
their
who
lives.
are hurting people wearing clown outfits, so just don't do it. All right, coming up, we got more fun stuff. That wasn't fun, but we have fun stuff. I promise it's on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner or the person in charge of advertising, I have a special offer just for you. We're doing a jingle special this month. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? How would you like to be the name in your industry and have people singing your song? We've worked with hundreds of small businesses to create their own musical image, and we want to help you too. Reach out right now and we'll give you $500 off. Squeeze it into this year's budget and get results for years to come. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
More boys are having a tough time handling one girl at a time. Can you imagine dating 10 on the same night? Well, that's what happened when you're a stud like this guy, senior class president, 10 girls that want to go to the homecoming dance with you. How are you going to make up your mind? Well, if you're Zach Davis from Eugene, Oregon, you don't. Zach couldn't make up his mind, so he said, tell you what, I'll just go with all of you, and they all accepted. The summer camp counselor, drama student, and all-around good guy decided to ask a whole group of girls to, if it's okay with all of you, let's just go together. So one by one, he approached them in the halls of the school and asked each one if they would go, even though, hey, there's going to be 9 of others. You cool with that? And all 10 of them said, yeah, we'll do that. So I wonder where he went ahead of time for dinner.
Poor boys that had no dates because he took all of them. All the other guys just standing around like...
So, would you like to dance, or you going to go sit with Zach, too? Shows up with 10 dates and leaves with 15. Thanks, Zach. All right, that happened in Eugene, Oregon. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Turns out Grandma may have been right about that whole tea kettle thing for flu season. Studies of seasonal influenza have long found indications that flu spreads better in dry air than it does in moist air. Research from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science indicate that the key is the absolute humidity, which measures the amount of water pressure in the air regardless of temperature, not the more commonly reported relative humidity. Oh, see, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Yeah, we talked about that one day. No, we didn't. Relative humidity varies depending on the air temperature. Absolute humidity does not. The correlation with the flu and low humidity is important because in colder winter weather, when the flu is more common, even a high relative humidity reading could indicate little actual moisture in the air. So the less moisture there is, the happier the flu virus seems to be. Still, overdoing the moisture can cause all kinds of other problems. So if it's too moist, you might end up getting mold on your walls. So, don't overdo it. You walk in, you're like, it's like a rainforest in here. I remember going in someone's house where it was like 92 degrees in their house. It was in the wintertime. I came in with a coat. I was like, it's kind of warm. They're like, yeah, we cranked the heat up. And it was over 90 degrees. I'm like, this is nuts. So I couldn't do that. Coming up, we got some good news, and we got some more fun stuff to get to before that. It's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Money cannot buy you happiness, Heidi. Well, the good news is we couldn't afford it anyway. So. But it is true that the best things in life are free, right? Or is it true that money can buy you happiness? Recent study found that money is not the key to happiness and fulfillment. Do you agree with this?
I agree that money alone, no, is not.
Lack of money can cause stress. I know that.
Yeah,
but
if you have everybody that you love around you, but you've got absolutely no money, you're not happy either because you have to have that. That's a necessity. It's a necessity. So without it, you're miserable.
It's just like, hey, hey guys.
But if you
thanks.
have only that, you're miserable. So you need a combination
You need
of
a
the
little,
two.
a little, but
Yes.
well, the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that feeling independent and competent and confident came ahead of wealth. Psychologist Dr. Kenan
But you
Sheldon.
can't be independent without money because otherwise you're relying on someone. So
Well, you could be independent.
it's a catch-22.
Independently broke, living in a dumpster. Dr. Kenan Sheldon, who led the study at the University of Missouri in Columbia, said, owning a Porsche will provide feelings of pleasure, but only for a short time. What does he have against Porsches? Not that I have one or anything. Nothing against those that have them. I'm just wondering what the deal is. I remember somebody that was talking
so we
about...
should ask him if he would be very, very happy if he had a clapped out Geo that only runs every Wednesday and Saturday.
I used to have one of those.
So does that mean when you can't afford to fix your vehicle, you're in better shape than your crappy vehicle than you are with a nice vehicle that you can afford to
I
repair?
think what they're doing is they're saying if you're just average, just the average, you're not poor, but you're not wealthy. Just average, people are happy.
Yeah.
But if you take away, so now that you're under, that's going to hurt. But if you add to, it's not going to make you a whole lot happier. I believe that's
No.
what they're trying to say.
I think the problem
I'm reading
with
between the lines here.
having money is then you also have these horrible, greedy people coming out of the woodwork that all of a sudden think, hey, you're my friend and we should hang out. And that I think causes the misery, not necessarily the money in itself. It's all the fake friends that you all of a sudden have.
We've been off the radio now for the last 2 minutes. So. Oh, we haven't? We're still here? Coming up,
I'm just saying,
we've got
I'd be
some
a lot
good...
happier crying in a Porsche than I would be on a street in the cardboard box.
All right. We've got some good news on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. We needed some good news today. This program has been a train wreck.
I disagree.
What did you do today? All the way through the entire program, you kept pulling me off course. There are probably some that think this is the best show we've ever done. I am not one of those people. Let's move on to our good news. Brennan Bretchard, director of basketball operations at the University of Kansas, drained a half-court shot, and head coach Bill Self wrote a $10,000 check. Alone, that feat is impressive. What's even more incredible, though, is what happened for a second year in a row. This has happened now twice. According to Mashable, Kansas has a annual preseason event where two students are randomly chosen from the crowd for a chance to win $10,000 from Self. That is the coach. They can either take a shot by themselves or select someone else. Sophomore Jordan Steers clearly liked the look of Bretchard's shot last year and selected the former Kansas player. Steers told the Kansas City Star that she plans to give the $10,000 to her grandmother, who saved her from foster care when she was 10 and offered to raise 4 of her siblings. You can read the whole story on our Facebook page, and you can see all the details of the shot being made from half court 2 years in a row by the same guy, and the coach got to write him a $10,000 check 2 years in a row. I think that's really a cool thing that he even does that.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I bet that's a way they get a lot of people to come out and watch the
I wonder
game.
if that's a tax deduction.
I'm sure it is. Why wouldn't it be? And I don't know if it's coming out of his pocket or if it's coming out of the school's pocket or if they have an insurance policy to cover that, because you can get those. So I don't exactly know all the details on it, but Bill Self, head coach there in Kansas, University of Kansas, 2 years in a row got to scribble out a $10,000 check for a dude making a half-court shot. And it was the same guy both years, which
There
is
you
really
go.
cool. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. If you'd like to read that story or follow us on Facebook for any reason, you can check out facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.